Hello, everyone. I'm Jahanara Ahmad, and I work for BRAC, the largest NGO in the world. And today, I want to introduce you to our humanitarian play labs in the Rohingya settlements of Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh, where every day over 50,000 children learn and heal through play. Now, as you all know, in August 2017, nearly 1 million Rohingya people fled to Bangladesh following violence and persecution in Myanmar. Around 40% of them were children under the age of 12. Many of them were torn from their families, and almost all of them had seen more violence than almost all of us here in a lifetime, if you're lucky. And in the immediate aftermath of this influx, child-friendly spaces were created within the camps to provide a safe space for these children. And we implement our humanitarian play lab model for children under 6 within these child-friendly spaces. Now, research has shown that play is instrumental in helping children learn, develop, and understand the world around them. Play is also a therapeutic tool that is highly effective in responding to the mental health needs of children. And for these reasons, we implement a play-based curriculum with activities that are taken from the Rohingya culture because we want to give displaced children a sense of belonging and pride in their roots. Every day in our centers, children recite rhymes and they tell stories in their own language. They play traditional physical games that require great strength and dexterity, and they also express their thoughts and feelings through art. The facilitators, or play leaders as we call them, are young women from the community, and the centers themselves have been decorated with motifs and symbols that are highly significant to the Rohingya culture in collaboration with people from the community. And we also use trained frontline paracounselors to give additional psychosocial support to these children. But play is at the heart of our model to help children learn and heal from trauma. Now, BRAC is currently refining and scaling up the humanitarian play labs and is working in partnership with Sesame Workshop, IRC, New York University, with generous funding from the Lego Foundation. The aim is to reach children in the Rohingya settings and give them the opportunities to learn through play and develop the skills they will need for the future. We believe with all our hearts that children everywhere, no matter who they are, have the right to a quality education. And we believe in the power of partnerships to make this happen. Let us all join together to make sure that children everywhere, no matter where they are given opportunities to not only survive, but thrive. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jahanara. That was the best kind of starting example within 3 minutes. Thank you. Next up, Aniket Thukral from Global School Leaders, India.
Hi, everyone. For a moment, I want you to think back to your school life. By a raise of hands, how many of you can remember a teacher who has had a meaningful impact in your life? Someone who changed the way you are as a person, affected it. Okay, thank you. Now, what if I asked you the same question, but I changed the word teacher with principal? How many of you would still raise your hands? Have a look around the room. Big change, isn't it? We believe that excellent schools begin with excellent leaders, and our leaders need much more support than what the current system offers them. Our work at GSL focuses on the global south and with school leaders serving some of the most marginalized kids. It's based off the India School Leadership Institute that has been training school leaders and has trained about 3,000 school leaders over the last few years. We create professional development programs for school leaders that are replicable on scale at a cost point that is relevant to our local country conditions. The first phase of our journey has focused on designing a blended learning program delivered through monthly workshops and in-school coaching visits. We have been testing this model through pilot projects in Kenya, Malaysia, and Indonesia, and the results have been encouraging. In India, we've seen about a 20% improvement in the number of students performing better than the average in a third-party assessment after our intervention. In Kenya, we've observed the percentage of teachers being observed weekly by their school leaders go up by 15% in a very short time. In Malaysia, 80% of our schools are showing improved teaching and learning practices. And our pilot in Indonesia is currently underway as we speak. While the initial results have been encouraging, we are focused on creating a scalable model that is cost effective. And so, in the next part of our journey in 2020, it will see us focus on working more closely with governments to embed our program into already existing structures in the system, starting with a 2-year program for 100 school leaders in the Kenyan public education system that launches in February of 2020. We also intend to leverage technology and are currently working on a mobile-based online learning platform that will include e-learning videos specially designed to engage our user base, virtual coaching services that are ongoing support, and a resource hub that facilitates best practice sharing across the network. We believe that effective school leadership is a key lever in transforming education systems around the world. I look forward to sharing more about our work and learning from all of you over the next few days. Thank you.
I mean, everyone's making this super easy for me. Aniket and I actually used to work together in India, so this is such an incredible opportunity to host him in Finland. Next, again from the Southeast Asia, Archun from Biplab, Singapore. Welcome.
Good afternoon, I'm Archun Cheng. Biplab is a social institute based on education and training consultancy in Singapore. And I am an associate and partner of them in Taiwan. The founder of Biplab, Liang, and I are both Taiwanese and architects. In the past few years, we promote architecture and children education by Chinese teaching in Singapore and Taiwan together. Architecture education can help more children in Asia. This is the main project of Biplab and also the life's work to us. We believe that architecture curriculum can be the best way to help interdisciplinary and lifelong learning, especially for K-12 education in Asia. We believe that the following points about architecture education can help children a lot. First, sense of aesthetic brings hope. Appreciation of environment and building can help children to see the beauty around them. Nurture the sense of aesthetic for their whole life. Brings hope to them when they have to face terrible situations. Second, architecture in our daily life teaches us wisdom. Invisible negative information and the fake news exists everywhere now. Learning architecture is like to learn visible wisdom, which is hidden in the environment. Just like our mentor, Dr. N says, silent curriculum. Third, design thinking changes our mindset. Through design education, critical thinking can help children break away from the framework and solve problems. Obviously, children need this ability to face many problems that cannot be solved at present. Fourth, environmental stewardship. Through environmental education, children will know the environment, which nurture them, build connection and love with their homeland and family, have stronger belief, be a steward and protector of their environment. Participating in this Innovative Education Summit is a big surprise for us and met our role model and inspire Aki again. Yeah. Hi, Pilar. Finally, thanks for all people who support us. That is the most important part of our conviction. Okay, thank you.
That was still great, and we're very inspired to have you here as well. If you are interested in learning more about any of the innovations that are speaking today, all innovators have put up their innovation pages on our website where you could watch videos, you could read more about the work that they're doing. So just a quick plug-in to go and check out our website and check out the collection. Next one's going to be tough, but I tried to practice. Stephane Coillet-Matillon from France, from Kiwix. Please welcome. Sorry, from Switzerland. I'm messing this one up. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Yes, okay. I'll start with a bit of background. There's 4 billion people in the world that still do not have internet access. That's half the world's population. Can be because of cost, infrastructure, the middle of nowhere in the desert, whatever, or because there's censorship. It's increasing. And if you thought that like the past 30 years that were used to get the richest half of the population online were easy, well then look at the next 30 or 100 years before we get those people online. And that's bad. That's really bad, and that's getting worse because, as was said, we're at a turning point. Now we're at a stage with, because of connectivity, you can have any answer to any question you face within a matter of seconds. For instance, I know that Minister Anderson is from Turku, and the population is 186,000 inhabitants, and she speaks Swedish. I obviously Googled it like minutes ago, but it's not obvious for everyone. And that's bad because I learned to search, I learned to think, whereas kids that do not have that connectivity, they would need to keep learning by heart things that they don't really need, that they could have at the tip of their fingers. So we do have a problem with connectivity. And that's how we faced it at Kiwix. We were like, okay, internet is an issue, so maybe we should take the internet out of the equation and look at what the internet brings you. It brings you content. So what we did is that we took content. We froze it, we compressed it, and we made it available everywhere. It can be on little hotspots, it can be on your phone, it can be on a flash drive that you put on your school computer, it doesn't matter. It can be everywhere. And then that changes the equation. Also, I don't speak Spanish, I don't speak Arabic, so I wouldn't know better than any Arabic or Spanish teacher how it works. So what we do is that we take other people's tools for education and we distribute it around the world. We have 3 to 4 million users around the world. We started 2 years ago. We're aiming at 100 million within 5 years. And that's doable. It's only like 2% of those 4 billion. So it's not scaling, but it's not like huge scaling. Probably I should be disappointed there, but still. So that's how Kiwix works. I'll be tomorrow at the Equality Opportunity session. I invite you to join and listen. And there's plenty of people whose solution I'd be interested in listening to. So come and see me. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephane. And yes, that's going to be my task to remember how to say your name and your country, right? But the Global Innovation Collection is from all over the world. Next up, Jenn Flynn from Apple Schools Canada.
Thank you. We know that healthy kids learn better, and in Canada, we have a health crisis. Only 35% of kids in Canada are active enough for normal growth and development. Only 30% of kids eat enough vegetable and fruit, and 1 in 5 students is known to have a mental health disorder. Apple Schools is a health promotion initiative that is school-based and is focused on healthy eating, physical activity, and mental well-being. And it's our goal to make the healthy choice the easy choice in schools. What does that look like? Well, it's different in every single Apple School because every Apple School is created by their own community. But imagine that you walk into the front door and there's healthy food, maybe an apple or a banana ready for you to pick up and grab. When you go into a classroom, you'll see students learning math in an active way. At recess, every kid will be active. Maybe older students are teaching the younger students fun cooperative games. In the staff room, teachers may be signing up for an after-school walking club, or they're sitting in the reading corner recharging and taking care of their own mental health. Parents are involved and are informed of the changes that are happening in modeling at schools, and partnerships are also included, so perhaps the local grocery store is handing out coupons for the oranges that were taste tested that week. How do we do it? Apple Schools hears from school communities, and we hear that the barriers are of 3: time, funding, and resources in education. So we start there. We work with school communities to hire local school health facilitators whose job it is to hear from the students, from the parents, from the community members to build their own vision and plan for wellness. And then we support them with some dollars, as well as training and ongoing education of resources and best practices that are available. We're excited about this because we know it works. With our program, we've seen an increase in physical activity levels of 35%. We've seen an increase in fruit and vegetable consumption of 10%, and a decrease in obesity and overweight of 14%. And all of this is partnered because of a great team at the University of Alberta in Canada, who has this information available in peer-reviewed scientific articles, which is coupled by more information about improvements in academics, improvements in student leadership, these habits being taken in changing home environments, and many, many more. In 2007, we started in 10 schools, and this year we're working with 74 school communities, and we hope by 2025 to be supporting at least 100, maybe more, from their point on, to make the healthy choice the easy choice and to have healthy kids in healthy schools. Thanks.
Thank you, Jenn. And yes, we have 6 more presenters, which would be the part 2, but for this round, the final innovator, Chris Williams from Chatta, UK.
Thank you. So my innovation started with a problem, and the problem was in my hometown in the UK. I was approached by Cheryl Bowers, the head of early education. She started to tell me of the number of children that are behind in language development as they start school. Part of the cause of this is that we might be digitally distracted. I always say we do communicate far wider and faster, but maybe talk is a bit of a sacrifice for that. So I developed a very, very simple app for parents that increases interaction. And Cheryl really helped push that forward. She funded iPads for a huge number of the nurseries in the city, and she said to them, I will provide you the funding for this if you follow this approach. And it began there. And we quickly gained impact. And after 1 year in one area of the city, we had children who previously 49% of them were behind in expected levels of speaking. In a year, it was up to 83%. And now my software is available free of charge for every family in the city. And this has caught the attention of HundrED. And HundrED really has helped with our scaling. And I want to talk about that almost as a domino effect, how one thing leads to another, and our belief and energy can drive that forward. Through HundrED, we've now got schools in Brazil, in Malaysia, in Spain, in Canada. We've got a kindergarten in Finland who's been working with us. The director, Dan Engstrom, approached us after the HundrED Summit last year and wanted to try Chatta. Any of you can try Chatta. And they began using it with a little girl called Minea who was struggling with her speech. Within weeks, she was speaking in sentences. I met her for the first time today, and there's no gap, there's no problem, and she is thriving and she is flying. I had an email from a school the other day saying Chatta is 1,000,000 times better than stuff we've used before, which is brilliant for me, but actually I would say the same for every innovator and every innovation in this room. Sometimes the innovations, they can sound too good to be true. But what if they are true? And that's where we come in. We will only know if we give them a chance. We will only know if we try. We have nothing to lose. And if it works, then we keep doing it. So we're at the point now, I've been part of the HundrED collection, and our profile is beginning to grow because of the people that believe in us. So I'd like to thank HundrED and Saku for giving us the stage and the opportunity. I'd like to thank Dan for giving us the chance to change the life of Minea in his kindergarten. And she's come today with me as my guest. I'd like to thank Cheryl Bowers for lighting the fuse and giving us the chance to make a start with Chatta. And I would just say to all of you, believe in change and innovations can spread. Thank you.